नाही नाही.
His Excellency, the President, will be accepting the Cub Scouts grant here.
పోతక బాలభూషణ్ ప్రత్యేక స్మారకం ఉత్తమాచార్య పెరిణామవచనపై నిలబడి
குருளை சாரணரை கம்பீர தற்பொழுது அதிபர் ஜனாதிபதி அவர்களுக்கு வழங்கப்படுகிறது.
Now,
the Lord's song will be sung by the Royal College Choir, along with the Royal College Veteran Band, the Royal College Cadet Band. Now,
Readings
readings from Buddhist, Hindu, Islam, and Catholic religious scriptures will take place. If someone talks about someone else's fault, like someone who gets late where they are precious, and speaks discouraging of their fault, they associate with such wise scholars. Good things happen to them. People who associate with such scholars, but bad things happen. They must learn to learn from this. Acharya Devo Bhava, Aditi Devo Bhava. தைத்திரிய உலகத்தில் காணப்படும் இம்மந்திரம் மனிதன் வாழ்க்கையில் வெற்றிமிக்க உறுதுணையாக இருப்பவர்களையும் அவர்களை போற்ற வேண்டிய முறை பற்றியும் விளக்குகின்றது. இப்பூலோகத்தில் நமக்கு பிறப்பளித்து
தந்தையரை நாம் தெய்வமாக போற்ற வேண்டும் என இம்மந்திரம் நமக்கு அறிவுறுத்துகின்றது. நமக்கு கல்வி அறிவை போதிக்கும் ஆசானை நாம் தெய்வ நிலையில் நிறுத்தி பார்க்க வேண்டும் என இம்மந்திரம் அறிவுறுத்துகின்றது. இறுதியாக இல்லம் நாடி வருகின்ற விருந்தினர்களையும் நாம் தெய்வமாக போற்ற வேண்டும். Be one to whom the mother is as God. Be one to whom the father is as God. Be one to whom the teacher is as God. Be one to whom the guest is as God.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يهد على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Have you seen someone who rejects the final judgment? That is the person who pushes the orphan aside and does not promote feeding the needy. It will be too bad for those who pray, yet who are absent-minded when they pray, who do good deed only to get the attention, yet refuse small kindness. Chapter 107, Al-Quran. Thank you.
A reading taken from the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 4 to 5. The government of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and over it he will raise up the right leader for the time. Human success is in the hand of the Lord, and it is he who confers honor upon the lawgiver. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Now, let us address our loving Heavenly Father with the words our Savior Jesus Christ taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Let us now observe 1 minute of silence in memory of the war heroes and the all royalists who passed away. Thank you. You may now take your seats. Now, in order to welcome us all, I would respectfully invite Principal Sir, Mr. R.M.M. Ratnayaka.
Good morning, Venerable Mahasangha, His Excellency, the President of Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe, and family members, the Prime Minister, Honorable Dinesh Gunawardena, distinguished ministers, state ministers, member of the Parliament who were royalists, the Secretary of the Ministry of Education, officials from the President's House, Prime Minister's House, Triforces, police, and the officials from the Ministry of Education, Provincial Department of Education, Zonal Education Office, former principals of Royal College, invitee schools principals, member of the Royal College Union, member of the School Development Society and other distinguished guests, deputy principals, assistant principals, teachers, non-academic staff, young royalists and parents. It is a great honor and privilege for me to welcome the distinguished ladies and gentlemen to the felicitation ceremony of this Excellency, the President of Sri Lanka, Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is a proud alumnus of Royal College. Indeed, you are a true son of Royal College as you have excelled in education, professions and late in politics. First, let me congratulate you for the beginning, the 9th executive president of the country, especially when the country was challenged with its worst economic situation. You showed royal spirit for the royalists, and you are the role model for young royalists as you borne the responsibility for leading the nation in its most challenging time. On the other hand, your contribution to the field of education is also noteworthy. During your ventures as the Minister of Education, by starting the National College of Education and the National Institute of Education, NIE, which produce quality teachers, your visionary leadership was shown to the world. It was a turning point in human resource development in the field of education. You also brought in the Pirivan Act and strengthening Pirivan education, which was a turning point in the education sector. One of the most notable actions taken with regard to the education administration was the establishment of the Education Administration Service, SLEAS, in the year 1987, which was an innovative decision to strengthen education administration in Sri Lanka. And I am delighted and honored to deliver this welcome speech on this stage as a member of the very first batch of SLEAS which you created. His Excellency, you have done a remarkable service to Sri Lankan education, and we are truly blessed to felicitate on your appointment as the head of the state, and you are the second royalist to be so. Dear sir, you and your family members, I would like to welcome you all to this grand occasion warmly. Next, I would like to welcome Prime Minister Honorable Dinesh Gunawardena to this occasion. It is a historic moment in politics that the country, country's first and second citizens are two classmates from the childhood. It is truly an important incident which add color and glamour to the history of Royal College. Honorable sirs, you are the entities with the responsibility of whole nation. Next, this is historic combination not only in Sri Lanka but also in the whole world, where the head of the state, prime minister, and the opposition leader are from the same school, and that school is Royal College, the #1 boys' school in the country. Is a matter to be proud of, as Royal College has always produced true sons to the nation. Royalists outshine others in every endeavors in life. The State Minister of Education, Honorable Dr. Suren Raghavan, sir, you are welcome to this felicitation ceremony. Next, I would like to welcome ministers, state ministers, and parliamentarians in different capacities who are distinguished, all royalists. You have all brought glory to your alma mater. I would also like to welcome the Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Mr. Nihar Ranasinghe, for this felicitation ceremony. Next, I would like to welcome officials from the President's House, Prime Minister's House, Tribe Forces, Police, Ministry of Education, Provincial Department of Education, Zonal Education Office, former principals of Royal College, invited schools principals, member of Royal College Union, member of the School Development Society, and other invitees, deputy principals, assistant principals, teachers, non-academic staff, young royalists, and parents to this grand occasion. By following the tradition of Royal College, we have all gathered here today facilitate the head of the state, His Excellency the President, who was invited to his alma mater. Wish you all a great day, good day. Thank you, Glory.
The citation of His Excellency the President. Reverend Sirs, all the distinguished dignitaries, Principal Sir, Senior Deputy Principal Sir, Deputy Principals, and all the members of the Management Committee, all the teachers of the academic staff, and my dear colleagues. On behalf of the college, I have the honor today of introducing a person who needs no introduction. His legend has been built, and his accomplishments are too many to name. He has enjoyed success in a vast diversity of arena because the common denominator is him, his vision, his brilliance, his passion, his work ethic, and his refusal to take no for an answer. Most Honorable Sir, His Excellency, the Honorable President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, your permissions for the citation. Born on the 24th of March 1949 to the couple Mr. Esmond Wickremesinghe, a successful lawyer, entrepreneur, and press baron, and Mrs. Nalini Wickremesinghe, a patron of art and culture, and being the second eldest among 4 siblings, His Excellency Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe married Maitri Wickremesinghe, an academic and professor of English in 1994. His Excellency, the President, Ranil Wickremesinghe, received his primary and secondary education at Royal College, Colombo. Royal College is a prestigious educational institute that had the rare opportunity of being in the position of memories of the greatest among the greatest, both locally and globally, and is one of our nation's most outstanding schools that has produced some of the finest gentlemen. Once, the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Dinesh Gunawardena, recalled the first day at Royal Primary. We sat under a large tree with our parents. The admissions took a while, and we both joined the same class on the same day. He also remembers how their class teacher of grade 3, Mrs. Sugatapala, was keen that her boys learned to appreciate arts and crafts, got them to engage in painting. His Excellency, the President, Ranil Wickremesinghe, had shown notable prowess at artistic expression. Mrs. Sugatapala had submitted some of their paintings to a children's art competition in Delhi, India. Behold, a few weeks later, both of them had won an award for their paintings. Royal College, our alma mater, had nurtured an exemplary model of a leader in him by adopting numerous strategies. Calling back one such memory, the Royal Primary Headmaster, Mr. Bandaranayake, launched a new book titled Nava Maga, a book that envisioned new concepts of education. The Honorable President had enjoyed reading this book, which gave him insight in realizing the need for pragmatic education. The students had to learn Pali, Latin, and recite phrases such as improvidus apto quod victum, improvise, adapt, overcome. This is what the students of our college learned and mastered in their lives. Decades later, these oratory skills, which lay dormant in the young minds, blossomed and enabled them to both speak with clarity and in Parliament, often agreeing to disagree. College not only taught him how to be a fierce opponent, but also how to be a very loyal friend too. In return, he loves his alma mater the best. His Excellency, the President, visits the college every year as a tradition, attending the Royal Thormian cricket match. His Excellency said in an interview that even though reviving ties with India was one of his priorities, he faced an awful choice when he learned that the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi of India, wished to make the first visit to Sri Lanka by an Indian premier in 28 years on the Friday and the Saturday of the match. Modi or the Royal Thormian, that's a tough choice. In the end, he hosted Mr. Modi on Friday, but did not accompany him on Saturday. Instead, His Excellency attended the match, a homecoming of sorts for him. After his scholarship at Royal, His Excellency joined the Faculty of Law at the University of Colombo and graduated from there with a degree in law. After graduation, he completed the law exams at the Ceylon Law College and took oaths as an advocate in 1972. He became an attorney of law following the changes to the legal profession in 1973. He had also achieved the prestigious honors in 2014 from Robert E. Wilhelm Fellow, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and in 2017, honorary doctors of law from the Deakin University. He has served for tens and thousands of people in this country throughout his entire political career, and he has inspired them. He has the strength to make hard decisions and motivate those around him to achieve what's impossible. He's an optimist who chases big dreams and sees potential where others do not. He leads by example and will outwork anyone in any room. He succeeds time and time again when the government has failed before him. He's a man who is deeply grounded in tradition. He strives for excellence of the country at this crisis responsibly to make a positive contribution to the society. Here today, His Excellency, the Honorable President, is leading all of us by example. Here I would like to quote Ivanka Trump, the daughter of Donald Trump. I quote, "Our generation finds itself at crossroads. Our leadership has been mired in bureaucracy of its own creation. If we do not adapt politically and economically, our country will be left behind. To address the many challenges we face, we don't need talk. We need action. We need execution, and we need someone who is bold and independent with a proven track record. Fortunately for us Sri Lankans, we have such a person who doesn't only talk, but takes action, is bold and independent, and also has a proven track record. leading all of us from the front in the form of His Excellency. His Excellency, the President Ranil Wickremesinghe, joined the United National Party and became a member of the Parliament of Sri Lanka from the Biyagama electoral district on the 21st of July 1977. He held the prestigious position of the Minister of Education from 1980 to 1989. Later, in 1989, he became a member of the Parliament of Sri Lanka and continued his service until 1994. On the 7th of May 1993, he was sworn in as the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka during his first premiership. He's also credited for pushing the country through an impressive economic transformation and was backed by the business community. In 2001, he led the United National Front to win 109 seats. Consequently, he was able to form a new UNF government and was sworn in as the 17th Prime Minister of Sri Lanka in 2001. In the 2004 parliamentary elections, he remained in the position of opposition leader till 2015 and was appointed as the Prime Minister. He became the leader of the opposition on the 22nd of April 2004 until the 2015 January. He won the general parliamentary elections held on the 17th of August 2015, making him the Prime Minister for his fourth term with 106 seats in the 225-member Parliament of Sri Lanka, forming the government. In 2018, His Excellency was reinstated as the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka on the 16th of December 2018. By May 2022, he was appointed as the Prime Minister of the country on the 12th of May 2022. And he was sworn in as the President of Sri Lanka on the 15th of July 2022. Here, there's no better person than His Excellency, the Honorable President, facing tough opponents and making hard decisions, and he is the battle-tested. He's a dreamer of his philosophy, but perhaps more importantly, he is a doer. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to cite His Excellency, the Honorable President today, whom all of us loved, respected our entire life. Let me now invite His Excellency, the President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, to address the gathering.
Venerable the members of the Sangha, Honorable the Prime Minister, the Principal, the Ministers, distinguished guests, old royalists, members of the staff, the prefects, and the present royalists. I have come here on the invitation of the prefects of Royal College to address you. I know that you are going to stand in the sun. I won't make my speech long. I myself have stood in the sun like this and said, when will they shut up so we can go back to the classroom? And I don't want that to happen to me. Knowing that the Prime Minister has already said that he will not speak, but he will be the chief guest at the prize giving, where you will be under a hall. Before I start to say a few words, I must thank the principals who molded me and the Prime Minister. Mr. Disa Bandaranayaka, Mr. H.T. Sugatapal, headmasters of the Royal Primary, Mr. Dudley Silva, and Mr. Bogoda Premala. We have thanked them for all the influence that they and the other masters had on us, both lady teachers also, in molding our character. I must also thank another member of the former Royal College Union Council, Mr. Diane Piris, who together with me stood up to save the name Royal College, and for all the other members of the council who supported us. Otherwise, we would have had another name. But we honored the intention that the country must have a school named after the president. And President Jayawardena in 1978 inaugurated the President's College in Sri Jayawardenapura Kotte, the new capital. I come here together with the Prime Minister to address you while we have also established another achievement at Royal College, where the President and the Prime Minister are from the same school and from the same class. Royal's history in politics goes back to about 1860 onwards, a few years after the Colombo Academy started, when some of its outstanding students became members of the Legislative Council. They are, as you see some of their portraits, C.A. Lawrence, James D. Alvis, both who wanted more power to the council. Sir Richard Morgan, the first Asian to be knighted, member of the Executive Committee, acting Attorney General, and also acting Chief Justice. Sir Muthukumarasamy, the four of them dominated the politics of Ceylon for the first few years of our modern history. We have Sir Ponnambalam Ramanathan, the first member to be elected by the Sri Lankans. His opposing candidate who lost, Sir Marcus Fernand, was also a royalist. It was a question of deciding which royalist you are going to vote for. 1915 was the turning point of our history, when we decided after the 1915 riots that we'll become independent nation. It was Henry Pedris, young old boy of this school, who was executed by the British and which started the whole campaign. So Ponnambalam Ramanathan pleaded for him in the Legislative Council. He was also a royalist. E.W. Pereira and Sir James P. Rees went to England to plead the cause of the Sinhala Buddhist leaders. They were also royalists. Then all the key players on the Sri Lankan side in the 1915 riots were royalists. After independence, we had Sir John Kotalawala as the first Prime Minister. We had, after whom the Defence University is named, and we had President J.R. Jayawardena. It was actually about, I would say, nearly 44 years ago when we assembled at the quadrangle to felicitate him. So Royal College today has in its record 4 prime ministers and 2 presidents. This is an outstanding record for any school. We also have a Sultan of Maldives, who was also prime minister, Mohammed Farid Didi. And the man who modernized Maldives, President Mayum Gayoom, spent a year or more at Royal College. I think the disease of modernization he must have got from Royal College. And now we are here as the royalists from the same class. There's another record. The first Republican Constitution was drafted by Dr. Colwynard De Silva, old royalist. The second Republican Constitution was drafted by J.R. Jayawardena, his classmate. Royalists had done it so well that no one can change it. Now, I think we have equaled that record when the Prime Minister and I, together with Mr. Anura Bandaranaike and Mr. late Anura Bandaranaike and Mr. Malik Samarikrama, has established another record. Between us, we have held the presidency. 2 of us have become prime ministers. 1 has been the speaker. 2 of us have been leaders of the House, and 2 of us have been leaders of the opposition. So this is what education in Royal has brought us to. And I hope that you all will do even better than us. That is my hope. Records are meant to be broken, not to be kept. Are any of you willing to break the record? So, I have come here to address you at a very, very difficult time. A situation we have not seen in the last 400 years. A complete collapse of the economy. I won't talk in general economic terms, but it affects all of you. In all our households, we didn't have fuel, we didn't have electricity, those who were farming didn't have fertilizer. We have to pay a lot of taxes, prices have gone up, inflation has come. Every household here has had to face the consequences. There was a total collapse of the country. And when I took over the country, and the Prime Minister, Dinesh Gunawardene, became Prime Minister, as I mentioned, he felt it was our duty first to put the country first. I thought that I'll take whatever decision that has to be taken to bring the economy back, at least to get the world, at least to be recognized in the world as no longer being bankrupt within 1 year. It was a tough call, but I didn't want it to go for much longer. I don't want you all to suffer. We want to start fighting back and to have economic resurrection. So I took all the decisions we had to take, and the Prime Minister supported me. I knew the decisions I take are going to be unpalatable. It will make me unpopular. But without those decisions, the country couldn't come right. And that's what I learned in Royal College. That's what he learned in Royal College. Do what is correct and do what is good for your country. Remember that. Every decision I have taken, I have thought twice or thrice, what is the burden it imposes on us? How unpopular should I become? Should I even take this decision? And when I felt it was in the country's interest, I took it. Because my first task and our first task is to bring the economy back in order. We can't be a bankrupt country. We can't be a bigger nation. So we have to learn that there are hard decisions to be taken in life, and those decisions have to be taken. And I assure you, we will, by this year, see a very good improvement. We'll see an improvement in our economic conditions. And then we will set the stage for the economic recovery of this country. Not to go back to an old system which brought us down, but to a new system. When I first came here, and I came along, it was only a 10 minutes, not even a 10 minutes walk for me to come from there to here. And we stood here in the hall. I realized one issue, and which all of us knew at that time. We thought we were in one of the best countries in the world. Because when we became independent, we were second to Japan. And the London Times said that we'll be another Switzerland. So we were here at that time. Today we are a country which has only Afghanistan below us. We don't know what the future is. So when we build this future, it's an economy that must last for 25 years. It must be a new constitution that will last for 100 years. It must be a society not for us. None of us here are going to live for 25 years. It's a country for you all. Most of you here, in 25 years, in the first row, I don't think you'll even be 45. And those in the back row, the seniors, would be about 50, 55. That is the country you are going to live in. And I want you all to be a part of those who decide what is the country we live in, not for us. That is a challenge you must take. I want you all to take that challenge and decide the future of the country. Just as much as President Jayawardene told us in 77, you all decide what your future should be. So I want you to be there. And most of you here are living in a time when young people want to go abroad. They don't see a future. They want to go away. But we are royalists. and we must fight back. That's what we have learned to do. As you know, we have to fight both alone and with many to uphold the values that we ourselves are committed to. So many of you will go abroad for studies. Some of you will stay here. But you must remember this school made you a man and come here. I studied at Royal. I could have gone abroad to a university. I didn't. My father wanted me to go abroad. I stayed here because I valued what I had. And after I passed out, I did not go abroad. I stayed here because I owe my education to the state, which paid for me and which sent us to the Royal College. The Prime Minister went abroad and he studied there. But he remembered his obligation to the country, so he came back. And that is what you have to do. All of you here come to a school. For each of you selected, there's another 100 that was left behind. The country chose you to come here. The school chose you to come here. Then you have the responsibility to come back to your country or stay in your country and build a new Sri Lanka. Are you as royalists willing to do that? That is your task. You should come back. You should fight the odds and go ahead. Because we have two difficult tasks in this country. One is to put the economy into order. Other is reconciliation. We can't be divided by race or religion. Royalists are not. So let us not do that. So let's all get together. And for all of you, come back, take your place in society and do the best. Whether you're at the highest level or you're running a normal business, that's what you have to do. So first, I'd like to ask all the old royalists that to forget the differences and join together in bringing this country up. I am in no way telling all those in politics to join me. I'm only asking all of them to get together to get over this economic crisis. I'm asking those in the business world, those who are doing a small business, those who are carrying on their agriculture, those who are in professions, to join us to get over this crisis. I'm asking those who are in the military services, police, and the public service and the teaching services to join us in getting over the crisis. That is to get over it now. But I want you all to come back and ensure that you build the country again to a developed economy in 25 years' time. That is the task that you have. But I will not speak to you anymore, but I'd like to conclude with the words which we know of the oath taken by the young men of Athens, which we all had to learn in our days. I don't know whether you learn it now, but I'd like to repeat the commitment that they gave there, which we also have to follow. We will transmit this city, not only, not less, but greater, better, and more beautiful than when it was transmitted to us. That is the duty of all royalists. Thank you.
Now, the Principal of Royal College will present a plaque to His Excellency, the President. To be present, I would like to cordially invite the Secretary of the Royal College Union, the Secretary of the School Development Society, and the Head Prefect of the College. The Principal of Royal College and the Head Prefect will now present a plaque to the Honorable Prime Minister. Now I would like to cordially invite the head prefect of Royal College, Master Kavisha Ratnayaka.
Good morning, Venerable Mahasangha, the President, Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe, Prime Minister, Honorable Dinesh Gunawardena, Ministers, Members of Parliament, the Attorney General, Principal of Royal College, Mr. R.M.M. Ratnayaka, Chief of Staff and Senior Advisor to the President, Honorable Sagal Ratnayaka, Senior Deputy Principal, Deputy Principals, Assistant Principals, Secretary of the Royal College Union, Secretary of the School Development Society, all boys, teachers, prefects, and my fellow Royalists. It is an honor to deliver the vote of thanks to this distinguished gathering present today to felicitate our President, Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is one of the most outstanding alumnus of Royal College. Given the magnitude of his achievements and service to the country, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the great honor he has brought to his alma mater, while appreciating all he has accomplished for our island nation. But first, let me digress to a more light-hearted data point. As most of you may be aware, not one, but both the current President and the Prime Minister are all boys of Royal, and this is a unique achievement in itself. But what you may not be aware of is that they were also classmates from their primary days, and their friendship and camaraderie dates way back to their times within these hallowed walls. I believe that the trust and understanding that has developed between these two friends and leaders will help revive Sri Lanka in the coming months. Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe was the youngest cabinet member in the history of Sri Lankan politics until a few weeks ago. He was appointed as the Minister of Youth Affairs and Employment back in 1977 as a young 28-year-old graduate from the Faculty of Law from the University of Ceylon. During his term, he initiated the National Youth Services Council, which provides vocational and career training to school leavers, which has since guided and helped much of Sri Lanka's youth. He also initiated the Younpure program, which enables Sri Lankan youth to contribute towards national development and provided them with leadership training. In 1980, he was appointed as the Minister of Education and initiated radical educational reforms which improved school education with special emphasis on English, technology, and computer skills. In addition, he improved the education administrative services, and for these initiatives is regarded as one of the most outstanding ministers of education. Thereafter, in 1989, he was appointed as the Minister of Industries, Science and Technology and initiated industrial reforms while establishing the Biagama Special Economic Zone. I have focused on his contribution towards the development of this nation's youth and education, as it is most relevant to this audience, the student body of Royal College, who has reaped the benefits of the work he did as a young minister, and we felicitate him for these achievements. He then went on to be appointed as the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka in 1993, just 16 years after entering politics, and has since held the post of Prime Minister 6 times. As we all know, in July 2022, 45 years after he entered politics, he took over the helm of this nation during a political and economic crisis. This was a time when there was nobody willing to take on this difficult role, and this truly defines the leadership qualities of our president. For as Martin Luther King Jr. said, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. As you will note, the president has had a long and distinguished career, but given my age, my recollections of him are more recent. The first was the 52-day constitutional crisis, which took effect just before my O-level exams and prompted my interest in studying law. I admire his handling of the constitutional crisis, which with clear head and steadfast determination, he recovered from a very dangerous situation. I watched the situation unfold for 52 fascinating days as he navigated fearlessly through the storm back to calmer waters. And then more recently, I watched in amazement when with clear vision, he took over country on the brink of anarchy and restored order within 48 hours. Even though there are diverse views on these events currently, history will record these moments as precise and perceptive on the part of the President. We admire and felicitate him for one more aspect, which will be a highlight of his tenure, and that is the lack of anger over the loss of his home to fire, a home which he had willed to his alma mater, Royal College. Where there could have been anger and fury, we see composure and a sense of purpose. There is a focus and determination to lead this country back from bankruptcy to economic freedom, which will be seen as noble as leading us to freedom from foreign occupation. On behalf of the entire student fraternity of Royal College, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate you on your achievement, on your appointment as the Executive President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. We appreciate the efforts of bold change that you are taking, and thank you for your service, not only today, but throughout your entire political career. I would be failing in my duties if I did not thank everyone who made this event possible. Firstly, the Honorable President for accepting a humble invitation extended by the prefects of Royal College on behalf of the student fraternity. Thank you for making time out of your busy schedule to grace your alma mater with your presence. I would also like to thank the Prime Minister for taking the time to be here to celebrate his longtime friend, classmate, and colleague. Additionally, I'd like to thank the ministers and all Royalist members of Parliament who are present here today, who have put aside their political differences to celebrate a Royalist at the helm. The Principal of Royal College for taking up this initiative, assembling the necessary teams, and making this event happen today. The teachers of Royal College for their immense contribution and tireless work over the last few days, and the Royal College Union for their efforts and presence today. I'd like to thank the Royal College Prefects Council 2021-2022 for the hard work they have put in throughout the year and the relationship they were so keen on maintaining with the President's Office. I'd like to extend a special thank you to the President's Office, to the President's Chief of Staff, Honorable Sagal Ratnayaka, and the President's Private Secretary, Ms. Sandra Pereira, for facilitating and assisting us to arrange the events of today. I'd also like to thank the President's Media Division and President's Security Division for their contributions to help us organize today's event. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the commanders of the Tri-Forces as well as members of the Tri-Forces for the immense support that they extended to college over the last few days in order to restore its beauty. Not forgetting the office staff and minor staff of Platoon of Royal College, who trained with little rest to accord their Honorable President with a guard of honor that they will remember for the rest of their lives. I'd also like to recognize the Royal College Choir and Royal College Western Band and Junior Western Band for their efforts and training throughout the last few days to prepare for this event. Last but not least, Royal College, whom His Excellency was keen on addressing. Thank you for being here today, for spending your time to celebrate and felicitate your distinguished old boy. And finally, on behalf of the fellow students of Royal College who are waiting with bated breath, I would like to make a request of the Honorable President for the declaration of a school holiday tomorrow on account of your visit today. Thank you, and Floriat.
I must tell the head prefect, this is a time of trouble. You all should work. So I can't give you Thursday as a holiday, but I'll give you 3 days by declaring Friday a holiday, so you can have a break before the Royal Tour meet.
Thank you, sir.
Now, the national anthem of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka will be sung by the Royal College Choir, along with the Royal College Western Band and the Royal College Cadet Band.